Now that we understand arrays in general, we're going to start looking at how we can now start accessing and using those different items that are saved at each index, because that's really the purpose of an array, is that we can access the items in there and they're just saved in an easier to access way. So, and if we want to basically print or access or anything, one item in a string or one item in an array, we're going to use indexing, which is just like when we did strings. So when we wanted to access one character in a string, we used indexing. That's the same thing with arrays. If we want to just access one item in that array, we can access it by using indexing. So just like strings, indexing starts at 0 and then goes up until the very, very end. So here we have, I just called this random array, and I put different ways of saying hello and goodbye in here. Notice that hello is saved in the first one, and then we have a comma, so then it's hola in the second, ciao in the third, au revoir in the fourth, so on and so forth. So it says, what is the location of, and it has the 4 words below. So hopefully, because we learned strings already, this is already clicking in your brain. You're saying, okay, the index location of ciao is, this is 0, 1, 2. So the index location here would be 2. Index location of hello, because it starts at 0, is 0. Index location of goodbye is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can type 4. Adios is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So hopefully, because we already learned strings, this is pretty natural for you. But indexing is how we access each individual item in an array. So then from here, what we can actually do is we can access this by using very similar syntax to when we had a string. So remember when we had a string, we had string name followed by the index location in square brackets. That's the exact same thing with an array, although it's now just your array name with the index location in brackets. So here it's saying, okay, rand array 0, and we want to think through what's the value there. Well, at index 0, it's just hello. At index 3, it's 0, 1, 2, 3. Index -4, now we have to go back and think about strings, but remember, okay, 0 was this first one, so it was -1, -2, -3, -4. And 6 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because it only goes up to index 5, this would be an error. So again, in order to access these, the syntax is just like when we learned strings. We have our array name, the square bracket, and then the item index location that we would like to access. So what we're going to do next is we're just going to practice this and make sure that we can really work with it. So I still have this up on the screen. I'll still leave my print array there, but notice here that I'm just practicing accessing these different values. So here, say I wanted to access, index 0. I would put in 0. So this would access index 0 of num array. And I should be able to predict that this is going to display 5 on the screen. So if I run it, that's exactly what it does. It displays 5. And then if I copy and paste this and try this with multiple indices, oops, there we go. So say I tried the index 2. I would expect to see 0, 1, 2. So I would expect to see a 6 after that. And if I move this up a little bit, we will see that it does in fact access 6. So if you try multiples of these, so say then we try to do index 6. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to expect to see some sort of error if I do this. Which, if I run it, now at the very, very bottom, I see an error. And what this is saying is, okay, it's this line here with the 6, list index out of range. That's telling me I don't have something at 6, but if I did 5, that would be okay because I do have something at index 5. There we go. And then say I did negative indexing, works in the same way. We're just going to go backwards like we did with strings. This would start with the last value in the string. There we go. So we can see how indexing is pretty simple, works just like strings. It's really nice to have that consistency between them. So that's what you should have seen. That's what we saw happen. So this is just your little reminder of how indexing works.